So we are at the Red River Gorge. We had a weekend getaway. We brought some of our new gear out and wanted to kind of do a breakdown of what stuff we brought, how we packed it. There's a couple of videos on some different packs that I've done in the past, but this is my new one, and this is kind of the first time I've had a chance to take it out, use it, and set some stuff up. So both of us wanted to go through and see, how we pack each other's bags differently and what kind of gear we use. So we're just gonna break down each other's pack and look at what we have and what gear we brought and how we did it. So.
All right, so I'm gonna start on the outside of the pack, obviously first. Of course, I have my sit pad off. I'm using it. Looks like he is too.
I do too.
Kept the cord stock. I do like to carry some Purell and a little towel on my shoulder straps. And typically, if I'm getting into a dry camp, I can move a water bottle. I'll have one in each side pocket. I'll move one up to my shoulder strap, and then I can fill my bladder and stuff it down in the side pocket. Easy place to carry it outside of the pack. So that covers the bladder. Got a 1.5 Evernew. It's worked really well for me. I've got a few different sizes. This is usually my go-to because I carry the 700 mil smart water bottles, and then just a little piece of Spectre cord with a mitten hook on each one. So.
And I don't do that. Most of the time we'll put my water in the side pockets. Kind of get away with this one. I did on the Kumo. I had a couple pouches on the shoulder straps. So I didn't really want to. I wanted to try it without them on these. So I'm at this point just leaving them in the side pocket. And he kind of has the same setup too, where I've got a Evernew 1.5 spoon, Clear Micro.
Doing the Slayer Micro, I got the flip up top replacement for that guy.
Mine's Smart Water.
Yeah. There you are. I think that's Life Water. I do smooth, long-handled titanium spoon. Definitely eat out of Ziploc bags, so need that length.
And feeling dangerous, I went with the lighter one. That's smaller, so I'm hoping I can get into that.
Hey, there's a whole lot to be said for the smooth bowl.
I know. I'm trying it with us.
Especially for your cheesy meals.
Okay.
All right. So next, this is something new for this trip. They are just some water-resistant mittens that I made to go over my possum gloves that you'll see later. So have those in the front pocket there.
That's all I got.
Okay. I'll just knock this out. Got my toiletries kit here. It's Deuce of Spades and some wipes in there, TP type stuff, and a little homemade .51 Cuban stuff sack. Pretty basic. Since it is our first night to camp, since we've been out here, this is all folded up pretty, but it's just a piece of poly cryo to go underneath my tarp, and then I keep my tent stakes out here, which I think for this trip I went a little overboard because there's some storms coming, and I have MSR carbon cores, 4 of those. I've got some V stakes for my front and rear guy out, and then if I need to put the storm guy lines out, I brought a couple of shepherd hooks, so I've got a total of like 8 stakes in here, but definitely covers all the bases, 8 or 9 stakes. So that's it for the front mesh pocket. We both, it looks like, put the hip belt pockets on this. I've carried this thing up to like 16, 17 pounds total weight, and
this has got to be close.
Yeah, so. And I mean, really, did I need the extra support of the hip belt? Not necessarily, but coming into a little bit longer water carry going today, I feel like it was the right choice for sure today.
Yeah, I put a lot of my tent stakes that generally wouldn't have in the hip belt pocket because we carried so much water, but I did put this in my hip belt with my tent stake bag, the new one, V-Packs. What am I using? Toke's titanium, just the regular V-sticks, and then whatever was left of the Nero shelter thing, I out of that bag of like different types of guide outs, I just put onto the stakes itself to have some pullouts, but that's all I'm really carrying. My phone and stuff goes in the hip belt pocket, and
Yeah. Let's see.
Some trash bags.
This one's usually like my phone side, but I have a little chapstick and some Body Glide in there, and then the other side's really just snacks. So, the obvious M&Ms, some chewing gum. That's about it.
Let's break them up.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, let's see. All right. So for the storm, I opted to just bring rain pants instead of any kind of other hiking pants. I'll keep going while you're getting that open. On the top underneath that, I have possum down gloves and Z-Packs micro fleece hat. It was between this and the Black Rock Gear down beanie, but it's at 30s, so I don't think the down beanie will be necessary.
Yeah, majoritively I just wear a hat or a wool hat that is just cheap. Well, normally I have the camera stuff on top, but so just generally I'll have my food bag out. If it's a multi-day thing, I'll leave them on the outside for snacks and that lunch, so I don't have to keep getting the pack out. But Z-Packs bear bag kit, a little bit overkill for this because there's just one night of food in here, so it's definitely worth going to something that he has, which is a little bit more compact, so that you can keep different smaller size or portions in. But that's what I had. So
I got tarp next. This is Z-Packs Hexamid pocket tarp. It is incredibly small, and then I just have a little DIY stuff sack that has a net bottom, some nano no-seam net, and that way if I pack it away and it's wet, I can shove it down in the front of my pack here and let it drip outside of the pack instead of inside of the pack. But first night out, so it ends up inside. Ditty bag, all the little goodies. Tons of stuff in there. Normal ditty bag though. This is my electronics kit. I know you have
well,
pretty close to the same thing.
Partially, it's partially the same thing with some different adapters. Another wall adapter for power. If we happen to be doing one of those type of section hikes or something like that, that really gives us access to some power. I can charge multiple devices, but pretty much I think we have the same thing.
Yeah. Anchor 13,000.
Yeah.
I think mine looks a little bit better.
Mine's in its factory. Quick.
And then I have like a little, just a charger for the headlamp. I carry the Nightcore. This is the new 25, and I got it from Lightsmith, so I was able to get the lighter headband elastic cord deal, and then I keep some earbuds in there for music or
all the same stuff. I don't know what this one is. Do you know what this one is?
That's the Thumb, I think, or
it's the Nightcore one that flexes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Normally I wear a hat, so I kind of clip it to the bill if I'm using it as a headlamp, but the one that bends.
There you are. All right. Next up, I have my cook kit. This is a cook kit I've been using for a really long time. I've got a few years on this. I got Rudolicore carbon fiber lid. There's a BRS 3000 in there. Canister, Bic lighter. I've got some hot lips down in there, and then just a little cozy. This is the Toaks 550 with no handles.
This is the Toaks 550 with handles, just to weakness. I don't know. Too scared to grab the pod without it. But the new one, I have a video on that, or we have a video on that. The difference between the old 550 with handles versus the new
version,
one,
the lighter, thinner.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. Tonight when we make dinner, I'm gonna see how much faster it burns if the smaller gauge on the titanium makes any difference. But I'm not sure. But I haven't tested it yet. I haven't even burned. Well, we did coffee one time with it, but I haven't actually ever cooked like 2 cups of water in it yet. So this will be the first time for that. But I have a BRS stove or canister stove with it. The light low towel and kind of the same stuff that you have, just a different lid. I use the factory stuff. He's got all this cool stuff. So.
I also have a Z-Packs bear bag, but I have a couple of them, so I'm real big on doing a flat bottom mod to them. So I kind of turn it inside out, stitch it up to make the bottom of it. I think I do it like 5.5 inches wide. I have a little template that I made. That way it just kind of fits perfectly in my pack, and then there's a lot to be said for being able to open it up and it stand up and being able to look through it. This one I did cut 5 inches off of to shorten it up. So
It's really what I should have brought.
yeah, I didn't do it to save weight. I did it because it makes sense to have a
Different
like a 2-3 night bag, and then something where, you know, the larger version where I could carry 6 or 7 days worth of food in. I way overpacked for this. I think I have like probably 2.5 days worth of food, maybe give or take. So there's quite.
I had a couple, but it's still not even close to being what it's designed for in terms of volume. So
Yeah, lots of room.
I didn't do this. This is kind of the daily maintenance stuff that you would normally have. This is the
Oh, I didn't open mine up.
yeah. Well, I mean, I've got the basic stuff in here. This is kind of the Ziploc bag you never really want to open for emergencies, that kind of thing. Some Luco tape in there, some fire starters, some emergency water purifying tablets. I've got some Band-Aids that I'm never going to use because I have duct tape. And then you found a really cool the insect repellent.
Oh yeah.
The patches,
Yeah.
which I haven't even used yet, but it
They
sounded
work
cool.
really well. They're I don't know. Bigfoot had them on his channel, and I went straight to Amazon and bought them. It's just like a little sticker. You peel it off and stick it on
Sticks
your
to you, and then
clothes. Couple, one on the top, one on the bottom, and then repels. It's like
Instead of
it's
carrying
like an all-natural thing. It's pretty nice. It works.
I'd rather carry that anyways than a
Yeah.
bottle of spray of some kind or whatever they have.
Yeah.
But I've got Body Glide and we didn't use the small toothpaste. We have the tablets, so which has
Yeah.
been awesome. I'm glad that you shared that with me. Little Z-Packs, toothbrush, and then some lip balm in there. That little Oral Lab tea tree lip balm.
Mine's not too far off from that. This is like first aid, like stomach pill, Pepto. There's an off wipe in there in case these things are ever not enough. Got a little bit of super glue, some Luco tape, moleskin. I think there's an alcohol prep pad in there or something. This is my hope to never get into it kind of. I got a couple extra Velcro pieces for the back of my shoes, for my gaiters, extra set of earplugs, extra cap for a smart water bottle. There's a Sunto compass in there, clipper I think it's called. And then I've got an extra little clip for the tie out on my doors for my tarp. And then this is kind of like my everyday get into, so I've just got some toothpaste drops, little Z-Pack knife. I have a bamboo toothbrush that's cut down because, I mean, obviously,
I got one
if you're
for Christmas.
if
so-
you're hardcore,
yeah, definitely not. But I got one for Christmas, so
yeah. I got a
it's coming.
repair kit. There's some Cuban tape in here, some repair tape for like ripstop stuff and duct tape, and then for Thermarest pad too. There's a little patch kit in there.
Which is that's about what I got. You got more. Don't ever want to open kid stuff, but
All right, so I'm into my. This is a very water resistant pack,
can we
but
even say what it is?
what, the Nero?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, this is the Nero also.
I don't know
Yeah.
if we said that or not.
It's just the green, so I don't know. Color preference. That one's supposed to be like a little bit more durable or heavier or something.
For some reason, it's okay if we have the same exact gear throughout every part of
Yeah.
every part of the day. As long as it's a different color, then that
Yeah.
makes it a lot more
Everything
honest.
can match other than
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So even though it's pretty water resistant, I choose to put a pack liner kind of. It's a Nilo foam from Lightsmith, and I do the twist it and compress all your insulation and stuff like that. I mean, really, I only use it for compressing And then it doubles as my inflator bag for my thermarest that's in here. But when I open that up, first thing I have is a Six Moon Design Serenity net tent, and I'm working on a design for a Cuban bathtub floor. But that's still a ways out, so even though it's going to be 30 the whole time we're here, I'm still carrying a net tent because of the bathtub floor. That's really the only reason why I have it.
Well, you saw that video too where we were freezing and shaking and trying to do that in the woods in our local preserve. But
the rain is really the thing. Otherwise, I would do the polycro, leave this. I mean,
that's what I have.
It's like a 10-ounce piece of extra. I've made some mods to it, so it's probably like 11 ounces because I added a pocket inside and added a couple tie outs and stuff like that were extra to it, just sewing them on.
Which is, definitely when that's completed, we need to do another one. But,
oh, absolutely.
I have them in my pockets now, but I have some gloves and possum socks. I got the finally, like everybody else, broke down and got the Sea to Summit. What is it called?
Arrows.
Arrows?
Yeah. Is that that's a regular size?
It's a regular size. So
okay.
This is a small one, which you tried and didn't like it at all. I've never slept on this. I've been waiting to do this, so I don't know if this is going to be enough, but I'm going to try it and hope for the best, because normally I'll either just shove a jacket under my head or I'll sleep on the bag. So.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try to get the large version of that at some point and give it a shot.
This kind of ties in with the quilt I brought, but I've got a Sea to Summit reactor thermalite. This is the Plus, Compact Plus, so I think it's like an ounce more than
the regular
one that I have,
reactor.
Yeah. But I guess it's 20 degree. This is going to be kind of a fun experiment because I don't know how well that's going to work.
Yeah.
With the quilt, because the quilt that I brought, the Thermarest Neo Air, is the one that I'm not going to pull it all out. The one that he actually made. It's a design that's continuing to be improved upon. But you can explain this better than I can. This is just a...
Yeah.
Maybe I should explain.
It's a Costco double black diamond down throw. So basically, I cut two of the rows off of the one side and then shortened that up a little bit and attached that to the bottom, so it added 2 rows to it to go from, I think it was 70 to 80 inches at that point. And then I took the rest of the 2 rows I cut off, and that's where I shortened it up, and I kind of compressed all the down into one side and made a foot box, so it's got a closed foot box, and then did a 25-inch closure on the back. And then when I ripped the stitches, this got reflect pretty bad, but when I ripped the stitches, I did long baffles until where the foot box closes, and then I did the baffles short side. That way you could kind of grab it by the stitch on the inside and shake it down, fluff up the front, and keep all the down over your feet if it's colder. But it was like a pound, right? And
with the little, which I'm using now, the little stuff sack you got for like my possum down stuff, it was 16.01 ounces. So
yeah,
what would you say, 45 to 30 degrees? I don't know.
Yeah,
it seems like when you get it, when it's fluffed up, it seems pretty stout. But I'm gonna mess with that with the reactor tonight and see if that makes.
Space User said he took his down to 40, I think, and was perfectly comfortable in just like long sleeve shirt and pants.
I mean, freaking made it. So
I'm getting ready to put this on, but this is the Outdoor Research Transcendent hoodie, and it's a really nice jacket. I have the non-hooded version as well. I used the non-hooded for years, and then recently I got this like a couple years ago, year and a half ago, and I've been really happy with it. It's just, I think it's only like a 650 fill or something like that, 700 fill, but it's super warm. And then if you double it up with this helium tube, it's
drill coat.
Awesome.
800,
I got a few more things here. I have
wearing all the rest of my stuff.
This is a 20 degree Wilderness Logics quilt. Marty at Wilderness Logics was an incredible guy. You would call him and he would be right there. I mean, like a distant family member. Anything you needed. I actually got this quilt from him. I was going to do a trip to. It was in Arkansas on the Buffalo River Trail, and the weather changed and huge cold front came in, and I found out like 5 or 6 days before the trip that it was going to get down in the low 20s, and I called him and said, "Hey man, I need a 20-degree quilt," and he had this sitting on the shelf. So told him I didn't care what color it was, anything like that. Just I need a 20-degree quilt, and I think it's actually 15 to be honest with you. But anyway, he sent it to me. I had it before the trip, like three days shipping, something like that. He didn't even bill me until I got back.
Yeah,
And Marty was just he's an incredible guy. Yeah, it's truly missed. I have a lot of his gear and loved it. Got the down socks. Excited about using these. I mean,
Now wish I have a pair.
They're
I'm sure.
they're probably gonna be overkill, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but
And then I have just a wool long sleeve shirt. I got the Amazon special Monster Nature hike. It was like $7, and it's worked really well for over a year now. And then some possum down socks, and then I like to lay this flat in my pack. It's not like it's going to offer a lot of structure, but I feel like it's a good place to store it. And then put that out of the way. The only other modification I've really done to the pack is a zipper pouch, and I've just got my key and a little Z-Packs wallet with cards and cash and stuff in it. And this thing just tapes in here, and I kind of measured it out to make sure it was even and whatnot, and yeah, that was it. Works really well. So I guess that's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here to kind of break down a little bit more, in depth, but this is what we're using today. So, and tonight, I think we're gonna probably have lunch here in a minute, but I want to see how some of this stuff works out, and we'll probably do some follow-up or something like that on it.
Yeah.
Seeing if we don't get too cold, or probably I will, but maybe not. But
I think I overpacked. I probably could go down in the teens tonight, and I'd be all right with all the.
Yeah, it's a down jacket night.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.